Before the video actually fully starts, I just want to say real quick that you're going to hear me interject audio in editing because the my frames kept dropping and I kept cutting out. So, yeah. Just want to say that. Extra lag. Um so we're watching Eternal Voyage, Descent into Darkness, yeah, music. Um yeah, just give y'all a little ambiance in the background. I don't know if I'm probably 30 minutes, probably not. But I wanted to talk about Satanism real quick. And it goes in my last few videos where I talked about I've been getting to legends and Lima and stuff like that. So I've been getting to dark occultism, and I've been getting lately these past few days I've been looking up mysticism, um the Lima, sorry, I'm fixing my mic. The Lima, just learning about this stuff. Satanism. There was another one. Oh, Golden Dawn Magic. And I think there was another one, but I'm not sure. But those are the main ones. And I was just making my rounds downtown, walking fast. No, I can see myself like how I am. I touch on about on all of those. But however, and I was learning about through this little part, I started talking about Thelema and type magic that I got into, but mainly like learning about the type of sorcery that people do. And because I was really getting to sorcery, I didn't know that I was a sorcerer. And there are so many types of sorcerers, so many types of witches, so many types of magic people out there, spellcasters that all don't look the same. Even if they are under the same umbrella, like shamanism, every shaman isn't the same. And a lot of shamans might do some things differently. Yes, there are some things they might do that are similar, but some shamans might be different in how they do their mysticism and or magic, right? So I was learning about sorcery, and I was learning that online because lately during this time period, because I'm recording this and editing this video way after, by the way, um so during that little time period that I was experiencing at that moment, I was doing a lot of research, going around, broadening my horizons about the other magical systems like mysticism, alchemy, which some of the stuff I already knew, but like broadening them. Like I really only knew about spirituality in the most basic sense anyway, because I just did my spirituality like instinctively, intuitively, right? So like I knew about alchemy. I knew about the hermetic, but I never got into depth or like really learned about it. So that's what I was doing, getting into Lima, into occultism, dark occultism, um, what was it? I think wizardry and some other stuff too. Witchcraft, obviously. But yeah, so for me, sorcery, what I've noticed online, well, what I've noticed online was that a lot of people who did sorcery, they referred to sorcery and they always talked about sorcery in the Greek, the magical papyri. And that is one form of sorcery, right? And I'm learning like a lot of people, they, I don't know, and it comes with a lot of stuff. And I need to make a video about this. But I did, though, in a way where I talked about magic is your authentic nature. Like you can still be a sorcerer and not even know or touch on the Greek magical papyri. So I was really just like talking about that briefly in that little segment that I got cut out was your magic is heavily predicated off your nature. So for me, sorcery, and like I say, source, right? When you think of source, you're sourcing, right? So your magic, you can source your magic from your imagination. And I call myself an imaginary sorcerer because that's how I done it and that's how I've been doing it. That's what I'm currently doing now. So yeah, and don't get me wrong, I still use like herbs and um crystals every now and then, or oils. I might use those, or like just like natural stuff like dirt or water and stuff like that. But typically, I just make it up with my imagination, and I usually go based off energy, right? Like I'll summon the energy. So, like, let's say I wanted some change, I'll summon the force of chaos. Or let's say I wanted something to die, I'll summon the force of death, etc. You know what I mean? So yeah, and everybody does it differently. So as long as it's authentic and true to you, that's all that matters. But yeah, that's what I was talking about here. History and like that's cool and all that stuff. Now, I'm not a sorcerer in the sense of Greco. like you won't make it up, however you go, type of sorcerer. While also in the name source. So you source. Doctor Strange means to me. Another thing, real quick, I've noticed that every little community has their own little issues. I'm noticing that because usually I was never in like I was part of the well when it came to this stuff, occultism or even mysticism, or alchemy or spirituality, I was on my own little island, and I never really understood the problems any group really had because I never was really in the mix like that. But now I'm starting to be in the mix a little bit, and I'm really seeing like every little group has their problem. I'm like, oh my fucking god. But yeah, so Satanism, right? And this is about what Satanism means to me. I'm not recording. Well, okay, sorry. So, Satanism to me is about, and it also goes into the upside down pentagram too. So, it looks like a lot. But Satanism mean to me, when I was sitting with this and just doing my little research, I didn't really see any good videos talking about Satanism. And I know I'm a niche channel, so when I talk about it, it's going to be so different. But I go based off my spirit. So Satanism to me is connecting with your demonic family in a way where it's super personal and intrinsic. For me, if you go back to my video where I don't know the exact order of how I titled it, but it was like um fairies, humans, angels, demons. And at the towards the end where I was talking about demons, I was talking about how much they mean to me and how I'm connected to them and all that stuff. So, um I'm really tied to the demonic current, to demons. And they're they are so personal to me, right? Like I can't help but look at them as family. Period. And to me, they can do no wrong. You can say I'm biased. I don't give a fuck. But even the lowest ranking demons can do no wrong. You're just a demon. Come here, you little hug and kiss. Let's go back home. But so stupid. But being a Satanist is connecting with your demonic family in a way where it's pure, unconditional love and allowing that current to flow through you, with you, as you. And let me say this real quick: being a demon isn't about physical appearance. It's about current and resonance, right? And as we know that every demon in the inferno or underworld isn't a born demon. They might have been transformed, they might be a hybrid, they might be an angel, they might be something else entirely. And they resonate with the demonic current, right? They might be a monster, right? So it's not about appearances, it's about resonance and and authority and current, right? And for me, when I was channeling a lot a few months ago and I was accessing my demonic family, like I said in that video that I just mentioned, I talked about it, where they helped me with my shame and sex trauma and even food trauma, right? Those are the biggest ones. And sex, really, especially sex. And being a Satanist is connecting with your demonic lineage, your inner demon, not to conquer it, not to slay it, not to rise above it, not to alchemize it, but to love it because you are that. You are that taboo. And taboo is very subjective. Taboo can literally mean somebody who likes to watch shit porn, scat porn, or who likes to every Sunday drink their own piss or masturbate and pee on themselves or eat their own cum or um whatever is considered maybe taboo either by society or just in general or by the own person, right? Like taboo could be eating, they could be a vegetarian, but on Sundays they eat meat. You know what I mean? Honoring that taboo and honoring that this is a part of the dream and part of imagination, part of the void that is real. It's raw. It can be messy. It's unfiltered, right? It has no filters. It has no limits. I would say this is the part of the creation where it's extremely subjective, and it's also the dark feminine, right? Where you are honoring, especially as a human, right? A physical being, you're honoring your physicality and what that means to you and stretching the limits beyond that. You know what I mean? Like honoring your physicality, your physical spirit, right? Honoring your physical spirit. You are a physical deity. Honoring the fact that you are primal and sometimes you like to be very carnivorous and eat meat or plants or whatever in a way where it kind of established. Like I'm honoring the fact that when I eat food, I become very euphoric, and sometimes I might, you know what I mean, and just being unfiltered and not worrying about what anyone cares. I might burp when I eat. I might pass gas. Honoring that as sacred and beautiful as like honestly we're baby infants. Like humans are really infants when you think about it. But it's honoring your humanity. Because as a baby, no, as a very young person, like a child, right? Very young. I'll say you don't start caring about what other people think until like you're 8. Then people start to really, you start to really absorb that. But anyways, when you're very young, you don't care about farting or running barefoot in the gravel or burping or having chocolate all over your face. It's honoring your childlike nature in its truest form. And children are the most rawest, purest form of the void. And we are all children, right? Period. And it's honoring your sacred child in a way where it's natural. It's natural for a child to pass gas, to play in dirt, to even eat crayons or mud, and honoring your authentic truth. You know what I mean? However subjectively that means to you. It's deeply personal, right? But it's honoring the flesh in a way where it's divine. It's by honoring your physical flesh, your physical spirit, you are in return honoring your highest and truest spirit, because the reason why you're physical is to experience it, not to run from it, not to shame it. And you can even use shame like knowing that people shame their demons, shame their shadows, and that can be a form of fuel for you, like sex, right? A lot of people have a lot of shame and trauma around sex, and for you, it might not be. It's honoring, yes, I'm shameless because I enjoy my physical body, I enjoy my vessel, and I honor it to its fullest because
So yeah, this part real quick, I was just talking about how you honor your physicality, right? Like if it's food, you honor it fully and enjoy it like a child. If it's sex, you honor it and fully and you enjoy it as if it's you've never experienced something that like that before. Like it's all nuanced and new and remembered and powerful and sacred at the same time, right? With no shame, no fear, no regret, no guilt, and no matter what that is, if you like to watch people get their feet sucked, enjoy it fully. You know what I mean? Or if you like I said, people like what is it, BDSM or like abuse porn, do that. If you go to the black market, I mean, if you go to the dark web and you see people getting abused and it turns you on and that's truly authentic to you, what turns you on, then enjoy it fully. Honor that. Because even that is a part of creation. And even though a lot of people may not like that or agree with that or separate that, being a Satanist doesn't, because that's the rawest truth. You know what I'm saying? You can't. There's nothing more raw than like abuse or food or sex, right? Or the physical body, right? So, or even creativity, and that's even equated to sex as well. And I was also saying about the higher realms, like gods and stuff like that. Like they don't experience the same thing we do in the same way. Like they don't experience sex the same way. They don't experience food. Half of the majority of them don't even eat. All right. So yeah, that's a blessing. Cause I like food. I like eating. I like eating this dream matter. Okay. So yeah, that's all I was saying. Like just honoring that fully, absolutely, with no regret, no shame. And I'm telling y'all, no matter what it is, as long as it's authentically truthful to you, like you might get turned on by people abusing cats. If that's what you genuinely get turned on, or genuinely that fuels you, because that can just, because that for you could be like, yes, this is the truest, most realest, rawest part of creation that I refuse to avoid. And without shame or guilt or fear, then so be it. As long as it's authentically true to you, don't force it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's different. So it's authentic to you, and that's, and what's raw and real to you will be different to me. But the point of it all is that it's Satanism. Enjoying that. Absolutely. And because it's Satanism, it dwells more so on the darker, what's considered more taboo, right? So yeah, just want to say that. This is a gift. Being physical is the truest gift. And I'm sorry, a lot of beings on the higher realm don't understand that. And it is what it is, and that's okay. I'm not shaming them for it. But in my little human opinion, it's the truest gift ever given. And I am not giving it up. That's why I'm on the path of immortality, the prime. Um, oh my god, this TV, where's my remote? So ghetto. Um, oh my god. Oh, it's right here. I'm always losing my remote, y'all. Damn, I hate myself for this so much. Okay, so what I was just saying real quick is that like I love the physical body, and that like I honor it, and like the gods just, they don't, they're not physical, right? So like it's a different experience for them versus us. And I was talking about my video where the clip off. I was talking about my clip off and my primeval journey, and how that's the path that I'm on, the primeval path, the immortal path. Go watch that playlist. So I was just shouting that playlist out here. So yeah. Okay, y'all. I said screw it. Um, I kind of should have watched the video to see what I said, but I'll just go based off the cuff again. So I said screw it. I'm not gonna sit up here and edit this video because it's too many parts where I cut out. So from this point on, I'm gonna just start talking while I'm at post editing, during editing. Okay. So for me, what I was saying was Satanism, right? It's about honoring that physicality, that you were that you were an immortal physical God, right? That you're a physical deity, that you are just as much as potent and important as your highest self or truest self, right? I'm about to yawn. So it's saying that that's all important too. Let me sit up. I really didn't feel like recording today, if I'm being honest. I thought I could just edit and I'll be good. Um, but no. And like I said, from the, like, I think I have a few more videos like that where it's kind of choppy, but it's not as bad as this one was, because during those videos, when I realized like, oh shit, because my computer's old and it just can't handle OBS being open while there's frames going on YouTube. You just can't do that. That's why I lag every time I play a game. But while I play the game, it's a little different. But yeah, girl, it's just a lot. We're working on getting a new desktop. Well, desktop in general, because I have a gaming laptop. So besides the point, though. Sorry about that. Personal YouTube problems. Personal problems. Yeah, it's like about acknowledging that you are that physical being, and you are just as important and potent as any being, and especially if they're higher, right? Because we have this misunderstanding that higher is better. No, what's better is authenticity, being so real that you're tangible. That's what quote unquote is, you know, higher is being so authentic, so real that you're physical, right? I'm a real ass bitch. I'm literally a real ass bitch. You know what I mean? Like physically, right? It's about honoring the fact that we have the gift of physicality. Because one thing that I've learned, and keep in mind, I'm talking about this from because I posted this video. I had started. I posted. Well, I shot this video like weeks ago, but there's a lot that I've learned. Is that like every being won't experience the same thing. There are going to be a lot of beings that won't experience what it's like to be physical. So, and because we're all related, to me, being a Satanist is honoring the physicality so much so you're human and real, and honoring that for beings that won't know what it's like to be first level, first density human, or first density real, right? Or first density physical, right? Because each realm has their own quote unquote physicality, but the higher you go up, it becomes more so lucid physical, right? Physical that's like lucid, kind of dreamy. Whereas down here it's more like solid, it's like tangible, like I can feel you, I can taste you, I can smell you, right? Not just honoring your demons, but honoring your demon family, your demon blood, your demon nature, and your monster underworld nature, right? And you don't necessarily have to be directly connected to those realms or those forces or those beings or those frequencies per se, because Satanism is in everyday life. Like somebody who enjoys walking, somebody who enjoys playing with their animals, somebody who enjoys being out in nature, that is Satanism. Because Satanism is physical pleasure that feeds your cosmic being, right? And to take it a step further, because Satanism is a darker, it does deal with darker elements like demons, primeval chaos, the underworld, monsters, right? Because it's Satanism and it deals with the darker side of nature. To take it more to the, because like Satanism, just like in a broad sense, is like I said, like loving hot dogs, loving nature, loving being out and being active. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying the physical human experience. But to take it a step further and get to closer, and to get even closer to its core, it's about allowing yourself to enjoy that taboo without shame. So let's say, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, um, you might be a vegetarian or vegan, but every Sunday you choose to eat a steak or a hot dog, and fully allowing yourself to be immersed in that moment and honoring that sacred magic, right? Or it might be sex or porn or masturbation. When you do it, you're doing it from the full awareness of your consciousness and from your highest truest self, right? Where you are embodying that. That's what Satanism is. It's not just enjoying it, it's embodying that steak, that porn, that sex, that taboo, whatever it is. If every Sunday or Saturday you like to shit in your hand and praise the physical body, praise that shit and put it on your altar and then eat it, that's sacred and that's authentic to you, and that taboo is true and real and primal and honest. That's what Satanism is. It plays with that taboo, like porn or shit, or even drinking piss, or drinking your or eating your own cum, like, or fucking yourself. Like it plays with that and it embodies that fully, and it does it with love. It does it with love. Like like I said earlier, like if it's abuse porn, and if you authentically get turned on, it doesn't have to be sexually either. It can be sexually, but it doesn't have to be. If something truly ignites and it fuels you and makes you happy while doing that thing, whatever it is, like I said, if it's abuse, Go into the black internet, or not black internet, the dark web, and watching people get abused, or like people even getting killed. If you are doing that authentically with full love of yourself, and understanding that this is all part of creation, this is all part of imagination, and you are an aspect of imagination. So it only makes sense for me to truly want to make art out of this abuse. So let's say it's abuse, right? You can use that in ways where it fuels you, or you can use that in art. And it's like, yes, a lot of people might shun from that, but as a Satanist, you don't run from that. You embody it because it's real. Abuse is real. Sex is real. It's raw. Food is real. It's raw. Imagination is real. It's raw. Hell, even playing can be considered taboo, right? There are a lot of people who do necromancy on this planet, and a lot of people will consider it taboo, right? But in nature, it's just nature. It's a part of nature. You would like, it's like a specialist almost, you know? If you want to go to someone who has real powerful, sure, absolute magic, you might go to a demon, right? If you want to go to somebody who is really good with fire and burning stuff away, you might go to like a fire dragon or like a fire elemental. If you want to go to somebody who talks to the dead, you will go to a necromancer, right? And or a psychic, right? It's about everybody having their function, because everybody's a part of imagination, and you have to embody what you are, right? And Satanism teaches you that, to embody what you are, from the highest of the high to the lowest of the low, without shame or guilt or fear or ridicule or judgment. Fuck what everybody else got to say. It ain't about them. It's about you and your journey, right? So for you, for well, Satanism in general is deeply, deeply intrinsically personal, right? You got some people that would say, "Oh, killing an animal and using it in a spell is bad," but to you, if that's authentic to your highest and truest self, and if it's authentic to you, then it's not. It's all context. It all just depends on the person and where they are consciously and emotionally, right? Because you can still kill animals, and it can still be sacred, right? It can still be honorable, right? So it's about fully standing and embodying that truth. Absolutely. Hey, man, I'm just a part of creation, just like you are. You know what I mean? We deserve to exist just like you. And yeah, let me see what else I said in my video if I need to add anything else, right? And wait, it's also like saying, like, I'm a monster. I am a demon. I am a monster. And I am a dark being. So what? That's just as normal as anything else. In the beginning, it wasn't light, it was dark. So I'm only being the most truest, actually. I'm being the most truest, the most authentic, actually. So say what you want to say. This is who I am. You ain't gotta like it or accept it. It's not changing. It'll always be part of nature, right? And also embodying that evil. I have a video of evil and goodness that I'm going to be posting a little bit later after this. It's like several episodes, after this one. But yeah, it's about embodying that evil frequency, that evil currency, that evil current, that demonic state of being, that monster state of being, that underworld state of being, that void state of being, that prime evil chaos state of being, and being that and embodying that, like I said, in your truest authentic self. Because there are even within the darkness, there are levels to it, right? And everybody's different. Everyone's blueprint is different. It's not about this or that, or who's better, who's more powerful. It's about who's more real, who's more honest, who's more authentic to their nature, right? And who can embody that absolutely. Like I said, with no judgment, no shame, no guilt, no remorse. You know what I'm saying? full love. So let me see what else I said in this video. See what I can add. In this part, I was saying real quick that um I get why beings would take on the demon role, and like, because they do play a role into how they're perceived in the myth. And because I was saying to my demon family, I was like, I let people just call y'all demons. Like, I get your demons, but like they're not even using the word right. But it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It's not even. It's like if somebody is. And here's an example. Excuse me. Let's say you're a necromancer, right? And of course, you deal with dead things. Somebody in a society where, like, you know, that's dominantly light, I guess you can say, they're like, oh no, that's evil, that's bad, that's wrong. And instead of being like, no, no, it's not, look, I sure I could do, you're like, yes, it is evil, it is powerful, yeah, project your own projections onto me and I'll feed off of them type shit, right? And now, not only will I feed off of them, I will embody them and make them stronger. It's like one big egregore. And it's like, it's evil because it's raw. It's evil because it's real. Sorry, I'm taking my mic off, scratching my ear as I'm talking. It's evil because it's real. It's raw. Yeah, it's demonic. Yeah, yeah, it's wrong. It's so wrong. It's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just being absolutely honest. Like, you can't just ignore the fact. You gotta accept the fact that there is rawness and realness to nature. Nature is savage. People want to think nature is just, oh, sunflowers and daisies. No, nature will kill you and torture you and cause you to suffer if it sees fit. You can't have plants that heal without having plants that cause poison. They both play off each other. Just because you see a cat in the wild doesn't mean that cat won't kill you. Hello? Or get diseases by clawing your face out because they have rabies or whatever. Just because you see something in nature like a tree doesn't mean that tree won't fall on you, or doesn't mean that tree will actually like you. That tree might end up radiating very negative energy again to your field, to somebody else's field who's negatively karmically oriented. It might, but to your field, it might not be. So that doesn't make it bad or it shouldn't be part of nature. But every tree isn't here to help you. Every plant isn't here to heal you. Hello? There are some trees in nature who despise humans because of what humans did. And there are some trees in nature who still want to help humans. So, excuse me. It ain't nothing good or bad about it. It's just nature. It's just nature. And what role do you play in nature? No, not everybody's meant to be a Satanist. No, not everybody's meant to be this deeply connected to demons, right? Or monsters. But what I'm saying is, just like how pure imaginary light, aka source, just like how the yang has a little bit of darkness in it, you can still be light or not be a dark being and still hold that darkness because it's balanced, right? Even though it's mostly light with that darkness in there, it's showing that even the light has darkness. And the yin, even the darkness has light. Nope, one is good or better. They literally both need each other because they are one being. And you can't be a whole being if you cut yourself in half and say, that's not me. You know what I mean? That's what being a Satanism is. A Satanism, a Satanist is about accepting that you are that dark being, right? That you, or you're that light being with darkness in you. You know what I'm saying? It's about accepting nature and about accepting your nature, because everybody's not meant to be love and light. Not everybody's meant to be a dark occultist. Not everybody's meant to be completely neutral. or the gray path. Not everybody's meant to be a witch or a warlock or a scientist or a historian or a timekeeper, etc. There are so many roles out there for you to be because the imagination isn't fixed. There are so many expressions of imagination, of magic, right? We understand this. There are so many magical systems out there because everyone's function in nature is different. Not everybody's meant to do voodoo or hoodoo. Not everybody's meant to do Chinese magic. Not everybody's meant to do Hawaiian magic. Everybody's meant to do um, Western magic. It doesn't make anyone better or worse. It's literally nature. There are so many types of plants in nature that do so many different things, but a lot of them, but also there's a lot of plants that may do different things. Also, a lot of them do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, just because you have a group of lions, don't mean every lion operates the same way. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you have jungle, you have lions, you have eagles, you have birds, you have snakes, or whatever, right? But even within those own groups, there is variety, personality. That's how personal and deep it all gets. And Satanism is just accepting that and accepting the part that's super intensely, honestly, authentically rawly dark and true. You understand what I mean? So yeah, I was gonna just like I watched the rest of this video. I was just gonna like cut out the rest of the video and just talk, but I'm like, okay, my me cutting out in the video does stabilize more, so I don't cut out as much. And when I do, it's only a little bit, and you can still understand what I'm saying. You can still surmise what I'm saying. So like I'm gonna still leave the rest of this video up, but yeah. So I think the video is actually done. This video edits all over the place, girl, but you get the gist of it. You get what I'm talking about. It makes sense. So yeah, that's what it means, y'all. And it's about facing that without fear and embodying that with authentic truth. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I love y'all. It's also enjoying that you are the ritual, y'all. You are the ritual. You are the dark, demonic, monstrous ritual, right? It's about embodying that too and enjoying that too. And later in this video, I want to talk about my relationship with food and how like sometimes how when I once I healed my trauma with food, I started loving my body more and loving the food. I first this is the first time in my life where I actually enjoyed the food with no consequences of shame or guilt or hate or anxiety or anxiousness, right? Or without being unconscious. I'm fully now that I've once I feel my trauma with food, and once I've understood that, like I've understood this in my body, that food doesn't have to lower your frequency or vibration. I literally eat what the fuck I want to eat, even if it's microwaved or not, meat or not. My frequency, and I tell y'all this, I literally can feel my frequency not change. My vibration gets higher because I'm enjoying the food. I start rocking back and forth, or I'll start jumping up and down. I'll start humming. I'll start stimming like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I'll be in the mood and I'll just like gobble it all up. But I'm present when I do that. So it doesn't feel bad. And sometimes I'll take my time and just enjoy every single little minuscule bite. Either way, I'm present in my body. I am in my body, which is Satan, which is satanic, which is physical, right? Satanism is physical pleasure and it's physicality. It's being so embodied that nothing can shake your frequency or vibration. Period. So yeah, I'll talk about that coming up. So yeah, and also like I kind of just skimmed through the playlist, so there probably are some parts that are just a little more janky than I mentioned, but it's still for the most part still good, y'all. I just don't feel like recording this entire video, which I kind of did already, but I just don't feel like recording it. all the way because it's just too much. But y'all get the gist. Y'all understand exactly what I'm talking about. I make sure I made it clear.
Want to eat your shit because that's real. That's raw. There are literally cultures and traditions where they honor shit, bro. And I remember watching a documentary. Very taboo. It's honoring the taboo. Sacred taboo. And yes, taboo does exist on higher and lower realms. You would never catch, you would never, the odds of you catching an Andromedan eating their shit, not gonna happen. An Arcturian drinking their piss, not gonna happen. You know, you might catch a reptilian because they're more connected to the underworld, to the raw, to the rodents, but you ain't catching no Arcturian. You ain't catching no Andromedan. You ain't catching, hell, I would say even Lyran planning a shit. Definitely not an Anunnaki. You might, depending on what they got in their system. Like, if they just not Anunnaki, they probably reptilian, you know, and some other stuff. But you're not catching no necessarily quote unquote right hand path angelic being playing in their shit. Not saying that's wrong or good, but I'm talking about Satanism specifically and what it means to me. It means authentic, highest, truest essence in the most physical way possible. So your truest self, your highest self, your most authentic self, being embodied in a physical vessel and enjoying it in the most raw, realist, physical manner possible. And that, like I said, is subjective to the person because that could mean, like I said, playing in shit, eating shit, to watching porn, to eating, to being a vegetarian, but eating meat on Sundays as a holy day for just nothing but being carnivorous, you know, or dancing naked to very tribal music every day or every few days in your home with, you know, candles lit. You know what I mean? It can be, like I said, drinking pee or like what would be considered taboo for the person, and or because I say taboo is very much personal at the same time it's very much collective because we could all collective say that taboo, that shit is very taboo, like shit, and playing shit is very sacred taboo. At the same time, taboo could be somebody who eat meats on Sundays but is a vegetarian. That's also very personal, right? Because most people who eat meat wouldn't give a fuck, which most people eat meat, right? And people who actually live their lives and mind their fucking business wouldn't give a fuck if this person is vegetarian most days, but on Sundays they eat meat. You know what I'm saying? So that's very personal. Or like, you know, dancing nude. That's personal taboo. And playing with yourself while you're dancing nude. That can be taboo as well. You know what I mean? Or drinking your own breast milk. You know what I'm saying? Honoring that and using that as ritual. Or even your menstrual blood. Very taboo. Hell, even blood magic is taboo. Right? So, honoring that and enjoying that and not forgetting that you are a physical deity. You are honoring your physical nature because the physicality is just as part of your highest spirit as anything else. Your highest spirit and your physical spirit are one and the same. They're not separate. So it's honoring that. Honoring that. By honoring that, you're honoring your highest, truest self. By honoring your physical self, you're honoring your highest self, your non physical self, right? Because within creation, they are one and the same. They are inseparable. They are inseparable. Each plane of existence from the 12th plane on down all relate, correlate, and play and feed off each other. You can't have the physical plane without having the non physical planes. You can't have the non physical planes without having the physical planes because it's a trickle down. Every plane is equally sacred and important and valuable. And especially if you're physical, bitch. Because this is a whole different experience that if you're not physical, you will never understand. Physical beings are, to me, the most magical beings possible. I say that, but I don't follow my own rules, girl. But that's besides the point. It's not about me. It's not about me. Don't worry about me. But the physical plane, to me, being a Satanist means that the honoring that the physical plane is the most magical and enjoying that magic in the most rawest, realest, and sacred way. And this is something that I'm still doing, still learning, and still embodying because you know, um, because I'm not where I want to be in my physical life. So it's like, can I really enjoy it to the fullest? But I'm getting there, y'all. We're still working. We will always be learning. We'll never stop learning. But this goes into the pentagram being reversed. So the upside down, I like calling it the upside down pentagram. To me, just I like that better. But you can call, but I'm talking about the inverted pentagram. Because when I think of inverted, I know inverted means upside down, but in my head, inverted means backwards. And I guess you can kind of say that, but I don't like the image I get in my head because I get like I can't explain it, but it doesn't fit. But inverted, the upside down. Because when I say upside down, I think of the upside down world. When I say upside down, or the hangman, to me represents what I just talked about, but more specifically, physical power, physical protection, pro- protecting your physical spirit, your physical body. That includes your soul, your etheric body as well, but protecting your physical deity body, right? Being very grounded in the rawest, realest truth. So deeply, so truly, and embodying that because it points down, it points to you, to the physical, and to the underworld. So embodying your truest, realest underworld in the physical flesh. Your truest, rawest underworld, infernal immortality in the physical flesh. You understand what I'm saying? And you ain't got to be a demon to do that. You could be a human, a fairy, a unicorn, a dragon, an angel, a hybrid being. You can even be a cosmic force and do that. It's not bound to just flesh. It's just Flesh is just deeply symbolic of that. But you could be on the higher realms. Embodying your seventh density flesh would be Satanism. But when you're physical, you're embodying that in the most rawest, realest way. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't even a lot of people don't like the fact that they sweat. They don't like their sweat. I used to hate my sweat. I don't sweat a lot like that, to be honest. But I used to be like Jade from Victorious. She never sweats until that one day they was trapped in the van. She sweated and she was like panicking. Most people, she was like, I don't sweat because it's disgusting and I don't do it. I know that's right. Most people can't handle their own sweat. Allowing your pubic hair to be bushy or armpit hair to be bushy, regardless of your identity, gender, religion, background. Like allowing yourself to be, I don't want to say stinky, but allowing your natural body odors to radiate. You know what I mean? And being 1000% comfortable in that. It's being comfortable in the most uncomfortable. That's what Satanism is, and that's what the upside down pentagram means to me. It means underworld, infernal, sacred protection of the physical body. Because being physical requires the most strength. People don't realize that. Being physical is the hardest thing to do. It requires so much strength because it's so easy to get addicted and to lose yourself in the physicality. But even addiction is honoring addiction, being able to gorge on food like just a bunch of crap one day and being able to snap out of it the next day with full sovereignty. Doing drugs. I'm not talking about weed specifically, but I was thinking about like drugs like hard drugs like crack. But any type of drugs, whatever that is to you that you're addicted to, being able to feel that addiction, being addicted to it in that moment, and then when you're done the next day or the next 2 days, you're out of it and you're no longer addicted to it. Because that's how I am with porn. I've been working, like I told y'all, I've been doing sex magic. So one of the things that I've been, oh, I haven't made a sex video. Oh shit, that's crazy. I swore I didn't know. I don't think I made a sex video. I talked about it in my other videos, but I never made a video about it. So, oh my god, I gotta make a video about that because this goes into it too. It's I when I've been watching porn, I would be so immersed in the moment, y'all, so extremely immersed in the moment. So I can feel my body radiating energy, the intense energy. But I'll be so in the moment. I'll be so addicted in the moment. I'll be saying the most craziest shit out loud or in my head and make the most craziest sounds and being so hooked. And rather I'm masturbating twice that day, once, 3 times that day, or not, or that day, it doesn't matter. I'm so in it that I can be in it, and then when I'm done, I'm done. You know, and I allow myself to feel myself waning off of that energy, still enjoying it, because I call it the sex die state. That's the period where like you're done being in that addiction mode, and you're waning off of it throughout that day. Because usually when I was masturbating, when I had a lot of shame and I had a lot of trauma, it would take me days to recover, or it would take me a really really long to recover, right? But now I recover within that same, not even that full day. It'll take me about 2 hours maybe. Sometimes I recover right away. Sometimes my body likes to ride it out for a few hours. I like to ride it out for a few hours. But one thing I also started doing was programming my body to let my body know I'm doing this for pleasure. And pleasure is sacred and magical too, y'all. Y'all didn't know that, did you? And when you let your body know, let yourself know why you're doing it and what you hope to gain from it. Because sometimes I do it for pleasure. Sometimes I do it to gain, to channel. Sometimes I do it to insight, kind of the same thing. Or I'll do all three. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do it before I go to bed because it helps me dream. When there are periods when I just can't dream, I learned that masturbating with intention helps with that. So, because then I'll start dreaming again. Um, and it's about understanding yourself in the truest, most methodical way possible, and with no shame. With no shame. And the upside down pentagram reminds is symbolic of that, and it protects your sacred physicality. It's a very physical symbol to me. Of course, it works on all planes, but I've used it in a way to help get me out of sleep paralysis before. I've used it to help me in a way to honor and protect, and I've been sitting on this symbol for months, y'all. From like towards the beginning of this year, I have been sitting on this symbol, and it finally clicked for me what it means to me. Um, oh my god, my hair is pissing me off. Um, sorry. Uh, okay, I gotta hurry up. What time? Yeah, talk for almost 30 minutes. Like I said, I'm gonna go. So I'm trying my best to keep some of these videos within 30 minutes when I know they can be 30 minutes. Um, but yeah, Satanism to me is honoring your demon, loving your demon, family, demon current, honoring your demon current, honoring your demon lineage, your demon blood, that you are a demon because demons are a part of every being just as much as fairies or unicorns or angels because every being is connected. And especially if you're a human, the human archetype is literally designed to embody every single archetype. And for me personally, I take that very fucking literally. So literally that it's physical. Okay? So I realized that this whole time that's what I am, a Satanist. And I learned that Satan, and for me, I kind of differentiate Satanism from witchcraft and sorcery because Satanism is how I practice. Sorcery and witchcraft is how I express that practice.
So I express my Satanism with or through sorcery and witchcraft personally, right? And that's how I correlate. But that's what Satanism means to me. It's very deep and personal. And you gain a lot of insights. Yeah, like I said, it's honoring all of that. Your body, your sacred physicality, your sacred desires, your pleasures, your lust, your addictions, and celebrating that you're shameless and that your love for your demonic family and connect. And this is a way how I connect with my demonic family too, is Satanism, and I didn't know that. Um, but honoring your demonic family, your demonic blood, your demonic lineage, and the demonic current that flows through us all, you know, and just fully grounding in that. And it's a very sacred practice, y'all. It's a very sacred thing. And I know that Anton LaVey, not to talk about him, I don't like giving people too much clout, but you got to understand, y'all, you are your own deity, regardless of which path you follow. It doesn't matter if it's light or not. You also have to make your own decisions and tap into your own highest, truest spirit. Because I don't go based off anybody's books at all, to be honest with y'all. I can tell you a lick of book of the names of the people that I can tell you. I cannot look, first of all, because I don't know any of these motherfuckers out here. No shade. Is that wrong if you do? And I can't even recommend you a book of what I have because I don't know the names of people that I read either. And it's not many. I have like one, two witchcraft books. And of course, I got a book on herbs, an encyclopedia on herbs and stuff like that. But and some psychic books. But yeah, I don't have many books on like the craft or the occult and stuff like that because I tap in with my spirit. I go based off instinct and intuition and what I channel. And I sit with that for day and I reflect and I ponder and I dream and I go days. Like me coming to this conclusion took 2 years and 4 months. I hope y'all understand that. Me coming to this conclusion took 2 years and 4 months. A lot of stuff had to transpire for me to get here. A lot of experiences had to transpire for me to get here. Because what's in that book is within you. Now, ain't nothing wrong with going with the book. Because sometimes I go and do my physical research too. Because I'm a physical being, that's also important. But I take what everybody said with a grain of salt, and I see how that sits with me. And I try my best not to completely just throw away what they're saying, but I take what applies and let the rest fly. And then I make sure I sit with myself so I don't, because I am on the internet, right? I'm not trying to judge anybody or bash anybody, but I try to sit with myself and make sure I make sure I articulate it properly within myself enough so that way when I explain my view, you can understand it. Even if you don't agree with it, it's not the point. It's as long as you understand where I'm coming from, that's all that matters, right? And oh, girl, I must get 40 minutes. And for me, I was sitting with this, and I want to make sure because I don't like how people talk about it, how it's strictly of the flesh, when that's wrong. You can't separate spirit from flesh. That's impossible. They literally exist as and within and without of each other. They are one and the same. The spirit and the flesh are one in the literal fucking same. Y'all, you literally can't not have one without the fucking other. That is crazy. And you can't do magic without realizing that. Magic is a highly spiritual path. What the fuck is wrong with you if you think that there is no... I'm not talking about the normal people of the world. I'm talking about people who are awake and who is doing magic and or who is doing mysticism, alchemy, spirituality, doesn't matter. Occultism, you innately, once you do that stuff, you naturally will awaken to the simple fact that the cosmology of everything started with non-physicality first. It's inevitable. It's impossible not to know that you were non-physical first before you became physical when you're getting into the occult. You naturally will sit with that. I'll say real quick. Actually, now that I'm sitting and editing and listening to myself, I was like, well, maybe because there's a video I talked about. It's human and object permanence, where just because you didn't see it or you can't see it in the form that you perceive it as doesn't mean it's not real. So, because this doesn't negate what I just said, but it adds to what I'm saying because you were non-physical before you were physical, but because everything is and was and already had become, what if you were already physical too, just in a non-physical way, right? At the same time. So I just want to say that because like I was like, hold up, that thought just hit me. What if I was physical, but just in a non-physical way? Because everything is made of imaginary magic anyway. So hey, I don't make the rules here. I just live in them. Okay, so yeah, just a little thought, but yeah, like I said, it just adds to what I said previously. You were non-physical first, so it trickles down from the void on down to us or source or Hekate, whoever you're tapping into. But yeah, so yeah, I just want to say that and understand that it's insane to me that people and that's another thing too. Going off the satanic Bible, you can't go off of what one bald-headed white guy said. I'm sorry, no offense, but we know we cannot go based off of what one person says. Not in this society, we can, especially. That's crazy to just go based off of what one person said, and he even said that he was wrong. Like, how can you? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. And he had apparently a serpent. The serpent was clearly a spiritual being. So you thought that the physicality was it? That literally makes no cosmic sense at all. Not sorry. But yeah, that sounds like a child. All with all disrespect, that sounds like a child. Um but yeah, I don't go based off that because a lot of people don't even understand what magic is anyway, even if they are of the occult. I've noticed one thing that I've been learning is that they don't. People are super left brain. And that's the problem with the occultism, and that's the problem with spirituality as well. But people still operate with that left brain. But whatever. I go based off my spirit and what it means to me, and I sit with it. And I honor that. You know what I'm saying? And I make sure I come on here as correct as possible in explaining stuff. Because there's nothing wrong with having books. Like I said, I got a few books too. But never forget to check in with yourself because you are just as valuable, if not more, than the books you read. Okay? And you don't need a lot of books. But if you're a person who likes to read, then go ahead. Just don't forget your place in the cosmos. The book isn't your God. You are your God. You see what I'm saying? So that's what Satanism means to me. And honoring that. You're sacred in physical flesh just as much as anybody else is who isn't in physical flesh. And who is in physical flesh. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed that. That's what Satanism means to me. That's what the upside down pentagram means to me. Um, and I use it a lot in my rituals and spells. The upside down pentagram is deeply personal. Very good protection for me. So it has a lot of egregore. It has a lot of egregore energy in it for me. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. That's my take on Satanism for me personally. So like I said, you ain't got to be a human to be a Satanist. So yeah, see. Bye.